Brothers and sisters, welcome. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here. I am bringing you my daily diary segment. What did I do on Saturday, April 5th through Monday, April 7th of 2025? Well, I was very excited on Saturday morning, April 5th. My staff person, Rico, came to the office early in the morning, about 4:45, and we set out for the city of Tallahassee, about a 4-hour drive for us. And we were going to the Florida statewide March for the Preborn, an event that I helped to organize. So we set out in the car. I had to do a lot of paperwork. I had to do a lot of reading and preparation for various presentations and broadcasts, and also catching up on email topics. I'll go into some of those topics here in a moment, because then there was also work on the way back. But we arrived there and met up with the other leaders and with the other people who were arriving and with the other groups that were exhibiting. We had an area in one of the parks in Tallahassee where there were display tables and people were picking up pro-life literature, interacting with each other, getting signs, buying books, getting t-shirts. And then we gathered all the folks together and we marched over to the Capitol building. We had it was a relatively short distance to march, but a very enthusiastic march as we walked through the closed streets. The police closed them off for us and were very cooperative with us. We got to the steps of the Capitol and we had our rally. I was one of the key speakers, and we had some other leaders there, and we rallied on the steps of the Capitol calling for an end to abortion in Florida and, of course, throughout the nation and around the world. Then once we did all of that, I had to go with Rico directly back to the car to set out for Orlando, because then that evening, it was about another 4-hour ride, and then that evening we had an event in Orlando. I'll get to that event in a moment. Some of the things I worked on my email and computer in the car had to do with congressional districts and the project of urging people to visit their local offices of their members of Congress, the social media addresses of Congress, getting our social media team connected with each and every friendly member of the House and the Senate, scheduling of broadcasts coming up, prayer cards resources, working with staff to make sure that those who are requesting various prayer cards have them. Digitizing our products. I've talked to you about that project. They did some more work on that. Preparing to invite clergy to the conference to take place in June in Washington, D.C., the Road to Majority Conference, as it's called. Some work on our Pro-Life Vote C4 organization. Work in preparation for liturgical videos and for our upcoming national meeting of pro-life leaders. Work on articles for opinion pieces to be published in various papers, and working with our technology staff to upgrade our backup procedures. They run everything by me after they've done all the preparatory work. Then we arrived in Orlando, and it was the annual gala for Liberty Counsel, Matt Staver's organization, John Stemberger working there now, and a bunch of great people that we collaborate with throughout the course of the year. So I enjoyed that gala dinner, interacting with all the participants there and leaders whom I knew, and we had a great evening and good networking afterwards, after which we drove back to Titusville, another 40-minute drive, at the end of a long day, but a joyful, fruitful day. Wouldn't change anything about it. That was Saturday the 5th. Sunday morning the 6th, there in my office, a lot of settling in and preparation for the week to come. Taping in the studio, that was a big part of the day. At 10 a.m., I did the live taping of the scripture reflection, and then just a lot more desk work and studio work. I mean, the hours just go by of piles like this on my desk. Some of the things I dealt with included, a talk that I taped for Good Counsel Homes. I taped a couple of special talks, but for Good Counsel Homes having a pro-life conference, hello, Chris Bell, if you're watching, we wanted to be part of that event, at least virtually. Couldn't be there in person, but I gave some remarks of note for everybody attending that. Pro-Life Central, a new website design that we are working on, and also some plans for interviews of me by other outlets and of other leaders by our broadcast outlet. Later on in the afternoon, then, after having done all this work and, of course, Sunday worship and time with the Lord, I went over to Merritt Island and met with our executive director at her office on a number of different projects and plans, our late-term abortion project, our Visit the Local Offices of Congress project, our leadership meeting coming up, our websites, a lot of things in the works that we had to meet about for a couple of hours, and then I went back to Priests for Life headquarters. That was Sunday the 6th. Now, Monday the 7th, I was supposed to go to Washington. Here's what happened. I headed over to the airport like at 3:45 in the morning, drove myself, had a reserved parking in advance, and got there, went to the terminal to check in for my flight, did some work on my laptop as I was preparing to do so, got onto the flight. Now, some of the things I worked on had to do with data analysis, email blasts, Holy Week broadcasts, plans for that coming up, sign-ups for visiting the local offices of the members of Congress. We're getting the word out about that, and our late-term abortion project. Okay, so I'm doing all this work, got on the plane, ends up the flight is delayed so much they had to get us off the plane, maintenance issue. And it turned out that if I got on the plane again, I wouldn't have gotten there in time for my meeting because I was supposed to go and come back the same day. The event I was going for, which we publicized on social media in any case because we had one of our staff members there, was the swearing in of Dr. Alveda King, who's one of our board members and close associates, for a position that she has with the Trump administration, specifically under the Department of Agriculture. I was supposed to be there, couldn't get there with the flights, so went back to my office. When I went back to my office, then I had meetings with staff. I had a 12:30 interview with a podcast by John Henry Weston. So thank you, John Henry, for that. Deacon Keith Fournier was involved in that. That was at 12:30 for about an hour. Work at my desk, lots of it. Meetings with staff, meeting at 4 o'clock with the gift entry department and our resource department in terms of the prospecting that we are doing. That's where you mail out to get new supporters, getting all things ready for that, and then working into the evening quietly there in my office. There it is. That's what I did up on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of April, 2025. Hope your days are fruitful. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.
Hi, this is Dr. Teresa Burke, founder of Rachel's Vineyard and pastoral associate of Priests for Life. So many people need healing from the wounds of abortion, but don't know where to turn. They live in pain and shame and despair. You can bring hope to their lives by letting them know that there are people ready to help them find forgiveness and healing. By going to abortionforgiveness.com, you can find the healing ministries closest to where you live simply by entering your zip code. You'll find our Rachel's Vineyard retreats there, as well as other good programs. This is a great tool to help with your pro-life groups, schools, and churches. Go to abortionforgiveness.com today, and please help us spread the word.
Hello, I'm Sam Brownback, and I've worked alongside Father Frank Pavone for many years on the cause of life. He's a true champion, and the Priests for Life have been wonderful champions of this great cause, of the cause of human dignity of every human at every phase of life, from the very first moment of conception until its natural death. The human species, the human person, each and every one are full of dignity, priceless in value, and Priests for Life stand for that. Join their work with them, work alongside them in this battle, this incredible battle, this fantastically important battle for life in the United States. We've got to win this fight. Join them.